Hello, I hope that you are doing great. In this video, basically, we are going to learn how to move our application from our local computer to GitHub, and then to connect this to deploy this application in Amazon Web Service by using Elastic Beanstalk and CodePipeline. Okay, let's move on. It's a lot of things that we have to do. First that we have to do is to verify that our application runs correctly. Then download the final code from the GitHub account into your computer, and I have already done that. You already know how to do that. I go to terminal, new terminal, and here I verify that this works. Then I type Python application.py. Then I click here and I verify that everything works fine. Okay, then once that we have verified that our application works properly, what we have to go is to GitHub account, and I have to create a new repository. I go here and I create a new repository that is going to be Carbon App 2023. I go to create a README file. I going to create a MIT license, and I create the repository. Okay, once that I create the repository, I go to add files, upload files, and here I go to my computer. I go here to HTML, courses, code, and I go here to my Carbon app. Basically here I have all the files, but I have also the virtual environment, and the virtual environment, I don't want to upload the virtual environment because we are going to create a virtual environment in the server. Then basically we copy these files and we paste it here, okay? It's very important that you remember that you have to upload the application, the requirements, and the Carbon app folder. It's super important that you add the requirements that you have in the GitHub account that I create, because the requirements is the instructions that we are going to give to our server in Amazon Web Service to create all the machinery to run, to read our code and to interpret it. Okay, if we don't have the right requirements, we are going to have a mistake and the application is not going to run. We are going to work on that, and I go to teach you how to find these mistakes in the server. Okay, once that you have done that, please commit the changes. Okay, now this is fine. Now we have all the information that we need. We have it in the GitHub account. Okay, now the next thing is that we have to do is to go to Amazon Web Service and to connect this with the GitHub account. That's all. You have to go to the Amazon Web Service console, and here you have to sign not as a root, but as the IAM user that you have created before. The information that you have to place here is basically the file that you have downloaded, that I told you that is super important, and here in this file you have all the information that you need. Basically these 12 digits that you have here is the digits that you have here. Not in my case, because in my case I'm going to sign with another user that I have created, because I have created different users for this video. But here you have this 12 digit, you have the username, and you have the password. Okay, then with that information you sign in. And here basically what we are going to use is to use two things. It's the Elastic Beanstalk and also the CodePipeline. Probably you don't have that information straight away, but it's super easy. You type here Elastic Beanstalk, Elastic Beanstalk, you click here, and basically what we are going to do now is to create a new environment. You create a new environment. It's a web server environment. Here we are going to type, is going to be carbon app. Have done this several times, and then I have everything right now. Then this is the first thing. It's going to create an environment name for us, and here in the platform, what we have to choose, this is going to be a Python platform. We are going to use Python, and we are going to upload the file. We are going to connect this with GitHub. This is the reason, because we have to select this. You can also load your code, but it's not what we are going to do. What we are going to do is to connect our Amazon Web Service with the GitHub repository, okay? And then you create the environment. This will take several minutes, because it's basically what we are doing is creating an environment with many services. Then when this, you can see in the command line here basically what is happening. You can read this, but I'm going to stop the video because this can take 4 or 5 minutes, okay? Okay, we have after several minutes we finally create our virtual or environment in Amazon Web Service. If you click this link, this is something very nice, because basically here you have your first web page. This is going to be your domain, and here is, we have nothing. Well, to some extent this is some basic Python code, but what we are going to do now is basically to connect this with this Elastic Beanstalk with our GitHub repository, and here, instead of having this web page, what we are going to have is our web page. Okay, this is the first thing. I would like to go here, and I'm going to open this in a different, because I want to have this information about the environments, because we are going to need this information later. Okay, now I go here and I'm going to type here code pipeline. Okay, and basically the code pipeline is kind of a service that is going to help us to connect GitHub with Elastic Beanstalk directly. I'm going to create a new pipeline. I'm going to name this Carbon App 2023, and I go to click here next. The source provider is going to be GitHub version 2. Here basically I'm going to connect to GitHub. Here I type the connection name is going to be Carbon App 2023. Be sure that you don't have underlines. It's kind of, you have to have a line in the middle, because otherwise it's going to give you a mistake. And here basically is going to, it's finding my credentials in GitHub. This is Mario VP. This is my kind of username in GitHub, and then I click here connect, and then here, that's all. Now I go to this, I have to copy all this. I'm going to copy this because I don't want to have any mistake. Control copy, and I go to CodePipeline, and I'm going to paste the repository name. Here I have to erase this, is without the spaces. Then I click enter, and in the branch name is main. You remember this from previous videos. And then I click next. Here we are going to skip this builder stage, we don't need this. The deploy provider basically here is what we are going to connect. We are going to connect our GitHub with Elastic Beanstalk. We are going to select the region is in Europe. This is the place in which we are going to have our server, but you can place the server wherever you want. I usually use Europe Stockholm because it's very close to Norway, and this is also improving the efficiency of the connections with the server. I'm going to use Carbon App 23, and here in the environment name is basically the environmental that we have created before. Then I click next. Here is going to be a summary of all the things, and I'm going to create pipeline. And now basically it's going to be a couple of stages. This takes some time as well, because basically what it's doing is connecting GitHub with Elastic Beanstalk, and it's installing all the things that is in the requirement file and all these things. Once that this is done, the next time is going to take less. It's going to take less time, is how it is. But the first time is installing, basically is creating all the machinery that we need to read our application basically. And this can take several minutes. Okay, we have finished the deployment of the app. You can see this, that we have to source here, that is fine. And then if you click here, okay, I don't want to click there, I have to go here. And then if we click in this, this is basically an Elastic Beanstalk. If we click here, we have our app. This is fantastic. It's really, it's a kind of magic moment, even to me, that I have been doing this for a while. This is basically your domain. Here, basically, you will have your own domain with, you have your own web page here with login, methodology, Carbon app, instructions, all these things. And this is basically your own domain. You can share this with your friends, with your families, and with your companies that you try to find a job. And this is very nice. Okay. Basically, what we have done in this video is we have checked first that our app ran perfectly in our local computer. Once that we have done this, is we have uploaded all the code to our GitHub account. Take into account that it's super important that you place the right requirements text file, because this is what is going to help Amazon Web Service to create all the machinery to read our code. Then we have created an Elastic Beanstalk, that is kind of the server in which we are going to run our application. And we have connected this server with GitHub by using CodePipeline. Okay, what we are going to do in the rest of the course is basically to add more structure to our application, and then at the end we are going to upload this in GitHub. We are going to go to Amazon Web Service, and we are going to add also the databases and all these things. But this, we will do that in the next video. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and congratulations! Now you have your app running on the server. This is a good moment. Enjoy it. See you in the next video.